Hey guys, happy Thursday. It's just about noon here in California, and I wanted to come on today and talk to you about something that I call discernment. This is something that's come up quite a bit in the last couple of days amongst my clients and the services that I'm doing, as well as amongst conversation in my friend group, the concept of discernment. And when I talk about discernment, I'm talking about how are you able to discern if you're getting a message from spirit or if it's something in your own mind. So it's a really good topic of conversation, and I hope this is helpful for you guys. So again, how do you know if spirit is talking to you? There are a couple of ways that I know, for me, spirit is talking to me. And I also feel like I should say that I think this is probably different for everybody. I think that everybody's connection to spirit is different. The way that you would know if you're getting a message from spirit or outside of yourself is going to be different. So I'm going to share how I know. There are two ways that I use, or two things that I use to discern if something is my message from my own voice or if this is spirit. And the first way that I know that this is a message from spirit when I'm getting one is that they actually talk different than I do. If y'all have had a session with me, you know that there are times that I will pause our session and go and look up a word, because for me, spirit uses a different vernacular. There it is. A different vernacular than I use altogether. They use bigger words. They use more powerful words, things that just aren't part of my everyday voice. And so when I'm getting a message, one of the ways that I know that it's spirit and not coming from me is that it's a totally different language than what my normal go-to would be. The other way, and this is probably my most significant way of knowing when I'm getting a message from spirit, or if I'm getting a message, from my ego or whatever, is that there's a feeling that is always associated when spirit comes to me. Back when I first started opening up, I would have these encounters with a higher being, which we all know now is Michael, right? My guide. But I would have these encounters with a higher being, and I would get these messages, like just out of the blue, right? I get messages just randomly. And what struck me about anytime that I got a message from spirit back in my early days is that I would get an overwhelming feeling along with it. And the overwhelming feeling that I got with it was one of unconditional love. It was really crazy. And so I would sit down. This is before I was reading for anybody. I was just doing a lot of work for myself. I would just be brought to my knees with tears for the overwhelming feeling of love that came along with the message that I was getting from spirit. And actually, that has been my my main way of knowing when I am connected and when I am getting messages, is that I get that overwhelming feeling of love that comes along with it. So that's how I know that I'm getting connection with spirit, is again, one, the language, and two, that feeling. So I know that that's kind of vague maybe for you guys, and I want to back up and just say one more time that everybody's way of discerning and knowing if you're getting a message from spirit is going to be different, right? Because we are all having different experiences. If you still are unclear, let's say you get a feeling, let's say that spirit does talk to you differently than what your own internal messaging is. If you're still having a struggle around accepting, is this message from spirit, or discerning, is this message from spirit, ask for a sign. This is something that I do too. I mean, guys, after years and years and years of being awake and open and working with spirit every day, I still ask for signs for myself. And so a couple of days ago, I wanted some clarity. I was like, okay, am I going down the right path, or whatever it was, whatever it was. I wanted to have a sign about the message that I had gotten. And so I asked spirit to show me an owl. Like, owls are not very common where I live. In fact, I can't tell you that I've ever seen an owl naturally or in nature where I live, right? And so I asked to be shown an owl. Well, in about 24 hours, I was scrolling through social media, Instagram, not Facebook, Instagram, and I started seeing all of these posts, not sponsored posts, not advertising, but different posts about photos about owls or sayings about owls. And so I got my sign. So guys, again, back to back this up, talking about how to discern whether you had a message from yourself or from Spirit today, or from Spirit rather. We want to look at our language and the feelings. And lastly, if you're still having a hard time accepting or discerning that message was for you, ask for a sign. You'll get it. Keep your eyes peeled. Ask for something unusual, out of the ordinary, and you'll definitely get them. So anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this little discussion about discernment. I hope that it was helpful for you. I hope this is something that you can take forward with you and use in your day-to-day life. Again, how to discern if you're getting a message from Spirit or if you're getting a message from ego. All right, guys, so I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will be seeing you soon.